What's up guys, my name is Aaron Blackie and I'd like to welcome you to lesson 1 of this Fight IQ training series, which is going to give you a strategic framework for creating advantages in combat. I'm a black belt in BJJ and Judo, and I'm a current professional mixed martial artist fighting out of Australia.
Judo black belt, Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Fighting smart means we're using knowledge as a weapon to combat physicality. The primary means in which this is done is by creating what is called positions of force disparity. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Force disparity refers to the difference in your ability to produce force compared to your opponent. Take for example 2 fighters standing in front of each other throwing hands. Each individual is equally capable of producing force in their punches, making the level of force disparity very low, so the winner will be determined predominantly by either physicality or luck. In contrast to this, when we look at someone in the mount position trading punches with an opponent, they are able to deliver strikes with greater force from the top than the opponent on the bottom. This makes the level of force disparity in this position very high, meaning that a bigger and stronger opponent's natural physicality has been overcome, and in turn, the deck has been stacked in your favor. There are 3 ways you can create positions of advantage through force disparity, which are gravity, angles, and mechanics. There is also another way to create positions of advantage, and that is through skill. Skill is the 4th that is found outside of the 3, as it cannot be exploited through intelligent application of tactics and strategy, but instead can only be developed through live practice over time. Skill allows bigger, stronger opponents to be defeated even when force disparity is neutral, but the level of skill disparity must be larger than the level of natural physical disparity. This means you have to be way more skillful than your opponent to defeat them without also having a force disparity advantage. The consequence of this is that the smartest way to fight is to develop skills that can be applied in unison with knowledge of tactics and strategies to create gravitational, angular, and mechanical advantages. Gravitational advantage is created through holding the top position. This means mount, side control, and even being inside someone's guard will all place you in a position that enables you to produce more force than your opponent. It's important to note that the guard position does provide the player on bottom with a mechanical advantage, as they are able to use their arms and legs to attack, whereas the person on top is sitting on their own legs. So therefore, we are stuck with a 4 versus 2 limb situation. However, it is largely agreed upon that when damage is allowed, the gravitational advantage of being on top outweighs the mechanical one of being on bottom. This is the reason we see the guard dominate and control only grappling sports like BJJ, because they can exploit their mechanical advantage from bottom with submission attempts and sweeps, while the player on top cannot exploit the gravitational one by using damaging strikes. Mechanical advantages are created through the way your skeletal system is aligned in relation to your opponents. Take for example the knee tap takedown, where the perpendicular position of your torso enables you to produce force straight ahead, similar to the structure you would adopt in a sprinting race. The position of your opponent is positioned to move sideways if they are to keep up with you. Your quadriceps, glutes, and hamstrings are far more powerful than your opponent's abductors, resulting in a position of force disparity through the mechanical alignment you have created. Other examples include underhooks, front headlocks, and Kimura grips. Angular advantages are commonly seen in striking sports, which exploit the fact that our bodies are great at producing force directly in front of us. Basically, if you imagine a flashlight shining outwards from your chest, with the light making a triangle between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, you can get a fairly good idea of where someone must be for you to be able to effectively strike them. So in the case that you weave a punch and step at 45 degrees, you place your opponent's flashlight onto nothing, while your own flashlight is still positioned on them. This is the reason taking the back is so effective in submission fighting and in no-holds-barred fighting. It gives you an angular advantage over your opponent. Lastly, we have skill advantages, which refer to your knowledge and proprioceptive timing or an intuitive type feel in various situations. This is where standing in the pocket and trading punches with a bigger and stronger opponent could still see the smaller and weaker person win. Japanese Judo is famous for refusing to grip fight for mechanical advantages, and instead they adopt the 50-50 position, whereby the ability to throw will be almost entirely a result of the timing of the attacks. Another example is the over-under position in wrestling. You will easily control and take down an untrained or unskilled opponent from here, But 99% of wrestling coaches would advise avoiding this position against bigger opponents and instead recommend trying to control elbows and wrists in combination with your underhook because it negates the physical disadvantage you are at due to size and strength by providing you with a mechanical one instead. You could spend your entire life developing skill in 50-50 positions and would still struggle against novices who are substantially superior in size and strength. Or instead, you could choose to develop skills that enable you to create force disparity in gravity, mechanics, and angles, which will lead to the ability to easily dissect and defeat bigger and stronger opponents. Aiming to create positions of force disparity is the core axiom of fighting smart. Make sure you check out lesson 2, where we will look exclusively at the functions of frames.
Rocky Balboa, yeah, I got to fight like Rocky Balboa. Yeah, I got to fight.